Ah! Ah! I am full of rage. I am full of so much rage. I don't like you. No, I don't like me at all. Apologies for that. I don't know what the hell happened there. Okay. I think we're good now. Apologies for that. Bap! Very good. Now we know the fate of both of the shots Detective Arm fired. Mr. Wright, does that clear up all of your questions? Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. Hit one in the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear up everything that would happen at the scene? Oh, hold on. Whoops. Maybe I should actually show the game. Whoops, that's my bad. Oh my god. Okay, we have 2 bullets accounted for. We have 1 here, 1 in the oxygen tank from a .38 caliber handgun, which is Detective Arms. We don't have the 10 caliber handgun cleared up. That's still an outlier. So no. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun. But that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a third person. Oh? Very well, but don't keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene? The .10 caliber handgun.
Take that!
What's this metal pellet supposed to be? Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor. You found it where? In a floor gutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a .10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than the one Detective Arm's .38 calibers. Then that means... Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a gun that could fire a 10 caliber bullets. .10 caliber. If that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. The third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't, actually, that point doesn't make sense. Because if he had, if this third person fired at Arm and Cosmos, they would have been firing towards the control room center door. We found the bullet next to the south door, back towards the elevators. So no, that doesn't make sense, actually. I guess the better question would be, why is there a bullet at the southern entrance instead of near the northern door? Like the north, eastern door, sorry. No. Western door. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos? Aha! Looks like you've introduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. A mysterious person fired upon us. What's this now? Why are we hearing about this now? What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before. Ah, well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know? Foolish old geezer. So Director Cosmos really had been hiding the presence of a third person all along? Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw. You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom you were just another witness. You won't receive special treatment here. Now please give an accurate testimony. Witness testimony. What I really saw at the scene. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and Terran on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. No, that wouldn't make sense. Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean that the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant? Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else. Most likely as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock. But that doesn't make sense. Because the bullet we found was at the southern door, which would have to mean that... Wait a minute, which would mean that Cosmos and Arm came through at the southern entrance, not the western entrance, like they're telling us.
Objection!
Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one, and it's you who is cut down. Huh? Your reasoning could apply if Spaceball were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired the .10 caliber gun. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to prevent the possibility of a third person.
Objection!
But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by the police. Nor had a gun been found at the crime scene. In absence, it can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them.
Objection!
Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute.
Objection!
You can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon. Hello, Forged Evil. Hello. How you doing?
Objection!
It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, naturally. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us that he's the culprit. Ah! I did forget all about that! Look, your baldness, how deliciously obvious it is. If they lack the evidence, they'll rival mine. Wow, he sliced our third-person theory to ribbons and served it us, just like that. Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. The bullet that the mysterious figure shot, what did it hit exactly? It hit me. So that means that you're a ghost? I was wondering when you would realize at your baldness. Oh, you finished the Academy one? I did, yeah. I loved Turnabout Academy. It was really good. Man. I still fucking hate, Hugh so fucking much. But that was such a great fucking one. Oh, it was fantastic. After all the shit that the professor was giving us, that entire, case, it was great to see him crumble. Dr. Cosmos is an authentic, bona fide ghost. He can even pass through walls.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman. Your boldness, it was old in jest. Please, show yourself again. Are you sure? In that case, how did you manage to survive being shot, Dr. Cosmos? Aha! I'm glad you asked. It was a miracle! A miracle befitting of a great history-making figure such as myself. A bullet grazed my glorious Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted, thus saving my life. He was a douche canoe. Absolutely. Interesting, so it hit his medal? That's unbelievable! I have to check this out. Oh, wow! Look at that! There's exactly one extra Gaxia star. Oh, I thought that was a O. Oh, I see. The odds are literally astronomical. I guess it really was a miracle. It's beginning to feel real. It's beginning to really feel like the Cosmos is watching out for Director Cosmos. But why did you conceal this information, Director Cosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. This is the plight of the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand. I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding? Let's just cross-examine him and see what we find out. Now then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Gladly. Cross-examination! Because I have a bone to pick with you, bitch. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and Terran on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. I have a bone to pick with you, bitch. Why is this bullet? Explain to me, not that one. Explain to me then how this bullet is found at the southern wall.
Objection!
Director Cosmos, I believe you're telling this great court a glorious lie. Sorry about that. A great man like me tell a lie? Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history? My accusation is based off the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door, and the mysterious figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you said, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet would have traveled in this direction. However, we found the .10 caliber bullet here. Oh! The trajectory and where the bullet was actually found contradicts each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round. Oh my god.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his medal. Of this, there is no mistake.
Objection!
But in that case, the bullet should have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency? I love your laugh. It cracks me over time. It's so contagious. I'm glad you like my laugh. That's very sweet. Thank you. It's just, I love the image of fucking, Yuri just spinning around on his goddamn Segway. Whee! course. I didn't think so. What? Oh, great Director Cosmos.
Yes, is there something you'd like me to expound upon?
You were in the fact not in the control room to the east, were you? You were looking into the lounge from the door to the south. Is that not right? Ah! What are you getting at? Use your own brain. Your head must have some use other than housing that bird's nest. Bird's nest? Why does everyone pick on my hair? Because it's a weird look, Phoenix. You know it's a weird look. Dr. Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them from there, and that's where the bullets were found in the south. Ah, that makes some sense, actually. Also, the witness being at the southern door is rather favorable for the prosecution. I've got a bad feeling about this. How about it, Director? If you don't tell the truth this time...
Ah! Yikes! His handcuffs!
You will become but rust upon my sword. I relish the chance to cut down a great man.
Alright, I'll tell the truth, just put your sword away! You are correct. I, the great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door.
What?! That's the complete opposite of all the testimony he's given so far! And now you have lost your possibility that a third person was in the room. Oh my god. I have? How? I'm sorry, he has a sword? I was tapped out. Yeah, he just broke his chains again. He has a sword now. He's got a weapon. Everyone run. The director and the detective were near the southern door. Meaning the killer couldn't have escaped through there. Oh, sorry about that. The western door required print recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos' fingerprints. Ah! In short, there would be no escape for any third person had there been one. Ugh! My third person just disappeared! Like in one of Trussy's magic tricks!
Order in the court!
Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie? You were covering for the defendant. Isn't that right?
Yes, it was all for the love of my men. If I had said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean the culprit could have escaped through the southern door. It would have meant that there could have been a third person. All I want to do is protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person.
What a convoluted lie! Is he really covering for the defendant? I don't think so.
Looks like we've come to a conclusion. That's the defense argument, and the possibility of a third person has crumbled.
No! It's over. Nice. The judge is about to hand down his verdict. Think, Phoenix, think. This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. If the third person had no way of escaping the scene, what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Wait. What if the whole premise is all wrong? Director Cosmos said that he and Detective Arm rushed to the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them had reached the scene before the other one? What if that person entered the lounge? Then they would be the third person.
The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. I will now render my verdict.
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility.
Oh? This had better be good, Mr. Wright.
There is one and only one person who could have escaped from that scene, from the scene. That person would be the first person who arrived at the scene. Then, upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that is accessible only to them.
Very well, let's hear more about this theory.
I'm guessing they mean the escape route being the control room, which means that he's going to try and put up Yuri, yeah.
Who is this person who could have escaped from the boarding lounge?
Yuri Cosmos.
Take that!
What? But that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here?
Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one who had authority to open the control room door, after all.
But that means...
Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness. Director Yuri Cosmos! Ah! Spin! What? What?
Order in the court! Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself in more detail.
I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that, and saw a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those 2 warning shots.
I've been hit! I've been hit on the starboard side!
Captain Wright! It was a direct hit on the enemy ship, sir. A magnificent shot.
Warning shots fired from the enemy ship. Prepare to intercept.
Cosmos, you've told a lie in this court once again. I've been hit! I've been hit on the port side! The enemy has called in reinforcements! Look at him go! Oh lord, he's spinning! Earth to Cosmos Control Center, requesting permission to ask that you return to reality.
But my ship will not go down to anything else than the ultimate weapon of evidence.
Objection!
But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar. If Director Cosmos is the third person that Aura Blackwell saw, this third person fired at Director Aura and Director Cosmos with her gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos?
Aha! It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mysterious person fired upon us.
Director Cosmos must have been the one who fired the .10 caliber gun. Dun, 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 dun. When Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of different kind of relevance than before. Oh, the badge? Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark on that you received from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one in the lounge.
Brace for further impact!
Comparing against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge. Arm's bullet, right? Because we're saying that now Arm shot at Cosmos, which would have led to the thing getting shot at.
Take that!
The .38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos's metal. If we had that ricochet mark on the metal analyzed, I'm sure the calibers will match up. If that mark proves to be from a .38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you were the third person we've been looking for. Look at him go!
The bridge is destroyed! Losing altitude! All hands abandon ship! That's true. Then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank?
It was the 10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director?
No, you've got it all wrong! What? The engines have started again. It's a miracle! I'm not going down yet! Witness, stop this at once and confess the truth!
You don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar. Then accept your fate and tell the truth. You must be getting nauseous. Oh my god, that must be so nauseating to like spin yourself around on a Segway. Oh my god. Oh, girl, he's nauseous. Oh god.
You giving me orders? Me, the great director of the Space Cosmos, the Cosmos Space Center.
But the cosmos revolves around me! Someone get me off this thing! I've had my fair share in a hoverboard. Oh my god.
Order in the court. Will someone please stop the witness from spinning?
He's crashing out! Oh, buddy.
Ew. Thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off the face of the Earth. While he was twirling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the marks on the metal. It was made by a .38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Arm's firearm. Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No! You've got it all wrong! This is all just a misunderstanding!
Is he going to start piling on more lies?
It looks like it.
No matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth. Oh. Oh! Oh, shit! To be continued. What time is it right now? We can, yeah, save your yeah. We can, I'm sure we can get through this quickly. What Cosmos actually saw. We can get through this. I don't know how long this is gonna be, but hopefully it shouldn't be too long. We've only been streaming for an hour max.
Dr. Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They're claiming that you are this third person.
Forgive me. I'm so sorry.
The great pioneer of space development is revealed to just be another Philippus curve. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly?
The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this. Fine. I'll tell the truth. It's just as you say, Mr. Wright. It's true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she started firing warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. Oh. I then went past the elevators, all
all the way around the boarding lounge one again. I came in behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene.
Troublesome old man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts.
I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am! When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer! The great Yorick Cosmos was a history-making witness.
Hold it!
Now, just hold on one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck saw and Miss Aurora Blackwell saw was you.
No, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover up for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall.
Oh, Jesus. That is an excellent point.
All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person.
Well, it makes some sense if you told those lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck. Still, a lie's a lie, Athena. So Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof?
I just remembered. I have an alibi.
Alibi?
Miss Blackwell said she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct?
Yes. And?
Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like, they cooperate with me.
Yeah, they also work for you.
The director is not fibbing to the court for once. I can confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified.
So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m. and that you arrived at the lounge after that?
Yes, I believe the person I saw is the same person as Miss Blackwell saw. Though it was pitch black, so it was more a shadowy figure than less than a person. And I, couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an Earthman.
As long as he has an alibi, he can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer. No, we can't. And again, maybe we don't need to yet. I wonder if he's really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw.
Very well. Dr. Cosmos, your testimony, please.
Right. The witness testimony. What I really witnessed.
As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot, but when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door and, well, the launch pad 1 door. And the control room door should have been tight shut to the killer.
So you were shot at by the killer as well? And then they disappeared?
Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Terran's oxygen tank. I know because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured.
Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal?
That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember?
Right. What a mess this is turning into. Wait, but... hold on. I thought his metal was hit by Arm's bullet, not the killer's bullet. I'm getting confused. Oh god. What a mess this is turning into. So let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a .10 caliber bullet at him. Right, but it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it. And then the killer disappeared and the director went to the boarding lounge. when Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him. Judging by his medal, it looked like it looks like one of them almost took him out too. Good summary, but that doesn't explain where Mr. Killer went. Dr. Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared.
I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was Terran with a knife in his chest and Starbuck out cold on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene and had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence!
A riddle of ages indeed, but I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great.
A great man is always misunderstood in his own time, but he must remain true to himself even if those around him don't understand.
Wow, that might be the first true statement he said all day. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Simple, because it was Space Boy himself. When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter evidence. Dr. Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor?
No, because it was dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room.
That wasn't exactly helpful. I'm prepared to accept your surrender, right, Dono? I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help? Huh? While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord. Oh, which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? This might just help us find out what happened to our vanished killer. That'd be great, Athena, but let's see what you can do with him. Oh, you got it, boss! I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a great mind. Yuri Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. Alright. As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. Okay, sadness, surprise, and a little bit of anger. I hid to avoid getting shot. Oh, girl, he hid it. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. Uh-huh. I was near the elevator's side door, and well, the launch pad 1 door, sadness, okay, and the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. Talk about mixed feelings, you must be trying to account for a number of contradictions. So right, maybe this time we shouldn't just look for contradictory emotions. We should also look for emotions that should be there, but aren't. Oh. I guess it shouldn't be a surprise that his mind is in a convoluted place, too. He must have felt very shaken and distressed at the time. Let's focus on the fluctuation in his emotions and see what we can uncover. Okay, so we should also focus on emotions that aren't there. True Killer fired a gun at me, hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. Wouldn't you be surprised if a bitch who just fired at me suddenly disappeared out of thin air, I would be fucking shocked. Wouldn't you? Why aren't you shocked? Why aren't you surprised that the guy vanished? I'm gonna go with that. Let's see.
Got it!
You must have thought it very strange when the killer vanished into thin air.
I did. That kind of thing just doesn't happen usually.
And yet at the time you barely registered any shock of the occurrence.
What? What? Why are you? Ugh.
I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have a good idea of where they went. Is that right?
What? No, of course not. That's preposterous. Only I can enter the control room. And the area beyond the launchpad 1 door is filled with smoke, making it impassable. As for the southern door, I was standing right there. There was nowhere for the killer to run to.
Maybe, or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Taryn, yes? What if the culprit took that opportunity to silently slip out through the southern door?
I hardly doubt it. As you recall, right after I entered the lounge, Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her.
Yet the director wasn't surprised that the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use? It's working, boss! One more punch and it'll be a knockout. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him! Okay, back to the Matrix it is. There was one other thing I had noticed. This one checks out. Avoid hiding. I was near the side elevator door. And then the sadness of this one. That's the one that, like, out of all the doors that were options, why are you sad particularly with this one?
Got it!
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the Launchpad 1 door.
Great, you're Cosmos. Afraid? What basis do you have for that outlandish accusation?
Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it.
I am most certainly not.
Director Cosmos, there's something about the Launchpad door that you're not telling us, isn't there? Ah! Wow, he's speechless. It looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. I'll just input those 2 pieces of data and... Yes! Just what I wanted to see. Ooh, 70%. Presto changeo! Less discord. Looks like we're on the right track. Thanks, Athena. Now to make sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised with the killer suddenly vanished from the lounge, which pinpoints to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launch pad make him uneasy. In other words, he probably is hiding something about the launch pad 1 door. When we put these 2 pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here? Escaped through the Launchpad 1 corridor?
Take that!
The culprit went through the Launchpad 1 corridor. The Launchpad 1 door to escape, didn't they?
Yes. I mean, no. Disaster to starboard. We're gonna crash into an asteroid.
Master Tactician, you're not. But the area beyond that door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? True, but this is still the only logical answer there is. We can just figure out what the director was hiding about the Launchpad 1 door. We should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies.
But that door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Terran, and I have access. I don't see how the killer could have opened that security lock, do you?
That's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge meeting. There was a way he could have easily gotten past that security lock. Come to think of it, I did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device, which were Solomon's, I think. Yeah. I suppose the killer used this person's fingerprint to pass the security lock. It would have been Solomon Starbuck.
Take that!
That!
Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints were exactly what we found on the device's screen. Looks like he does have something to hide up the Launchpad 1 door. I have a feeling I know where this is going. I have a fucking feeling I know. And I have something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet.
No, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it?
Huh? Oh, yes, by all means.
There's a security camera in boarding lounge 1.
Right, the one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor?
The culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor. And that might be recorded in the security footage as well.
But it cuts out right after they come in.
Then the mystery would be solved. What do you think of my logic?
Oh, he's a little behind, just a little.
I hope you didn't strain your faculties too much for that, your boldness. I beg your pardon? Look, if we played the security footage beyond this point... Oh my! The footage cuts off! The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There's no footage after this, be it of the criminals or space aliens. I thought it was such a good idea too. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery, it doesn't mean you should try to show off too much. Grandpa bulgeness. Prosecutor Blackquill! How did you know about my grandchild?
I think his grandchild just learned a little something about the harshness of the adult world.
Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue.
Dr. Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge?
If I must.
Ooh. I hid to avoid getting shot. Okay, fear. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. Okay, still scared. Oh. But that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. Ooh. And then the detective shot at me. Uh-huh. Why did they shoot at you, though? So you see, the killer could have only escaped through the launch pad, right? Huh. What do you think about Director Cosmos' emotional responses, Athena? Actually, my cat is really sick, you know? Well, girl, what? What? Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. And on top of that, my dog just doesn't seem to want to play with me. Why are you telling me all of this? Why are you telling me all of this now? Just humor me, okay? Now, when you heard about my cat, and then about my dog, which story made you feel sadder? Oh? The story about your cat, of course. It's only natural. Exactly. That would be the natural reaction. But there's nothing natural about the director's reaction. Oh? I think about how each individual reaction changes across the whole testimony will be key. Sounds unnaturally complicated, but that somehow doesn't surprise me. So, like, levels of reaction? We know there are, like, levels to it. Okay. Maybe that's what we have to look at this time. I hid to avoid getting shot. Okay, big fear, big sadness. Small fear, because we don't know where the killer went. Big surprise, as Detective Arm rushes in from behind. Which, anger, small anger, because you just got shot at. Small fear, because you're getting shot at. Small surprise because you're getting shot at? Why are you more okay, hold on. Let's go with, why do you have less fear than, why do you have less surprise at being shot at than more surprise than her being arriving? What? Detective Cosmos. Why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you again, and then again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? Hands together. I didn't think I have to make this video. It's his apology.
Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings.
I was more scared about her being there than being shot at. Yeah, it's weird.
Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion.
Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, or rather, you were what you were surprised by.
Pardon me?
First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. After that, you were of course again surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise? What is strange about your surprise reaction is the fact that you were more surprised when the arm came. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you, but surprised when you felt she found you in the lounge is much greater.
Gah!
The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whether, by whatever it was you were doing in there. Oh. Oh, like he was being caught doing something.
The enemy has acquired a new weapon! Commence operation hide under your desk!
Ah! Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. With the frizz? No way! Ah! Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean he really is hiding something about that launch pad door. Whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. I wonder what could it be? If he was doing something suspicious around that door, maybe we can spot some changes between before he came into the room and then after. Detective Fulbright gave us his photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison. Let's see. This is the footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived. And this is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge. The only thing that changes is the knob, which means that knob is what he screwed with, whatever that means. Hey, look at that! There is a change. Something's definitely different. Director Cosmos,
What is it? What have you two been up to over there?
Finding the answer of what you were doing when Detective Arm found you, that's what. And the answer lies clearly in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation.
Don't be ridiculous! If you really do have an answer, just pinpoint it out. Just point it out already.
He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident. The knob.
Take that!
It's gotta be this. The answer is this knob.
That's...
Your Honor, please take a look at this footage.
Let's see.
Take a look at the knob next to the launch pad door. As you can see, it's horizontal.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical.
And what does that mean?
It means that something between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob.
Ugh!
After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos, let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door?
Fine! I admit it.
Oh god.
You're right. I did turn the knob. That knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions. So I wanted to move the launch pad away.
You wanted to do what? Hey, didn't Ponko tell us something about that? About how they prepare for launch? She said that once the launch pad is fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. But the safety lock on the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first. I guess that clears up what the knob is for. Oh, so if the killer escaped to the launch pad 1 corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site. I don't think so. The Launchpad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor. So then, where did the killer escape to? I guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us more about moving the launch pad in more detail.
Fine! But listen carefully, for I'm about to give history-making testimony.
Oh my god. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. Oh. Happiness? I feared there might have been more explosions. Wait, no. I'm sorry. That happiness. Okay, we should look at the rest, but that happiness I'm gonna pinpoint. There might have been more explosions, so I had to cut the launch pad loose. Surely the only escape the killer had was through the launch pad 1. But that area was was a sea of smoke. Confound it, where on earth could they have gone? Okay. I'm pinpointing this fucking happiness.
Got it!
Why are you happy? I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You made it sound like you were reluctant to do so. And yet you did it. You felt some joy, as if you were very pleased with yourself.
How did you do it? How did you know everything as if you were there?
Pretty impressive, is it not? This is the power of analytical psychology. So, care to explain why you felt joy when you were disengaging this safety lock? When I think back on the facts that we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda.
How did you know about that, too?
Oh god. Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing.
But you have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. Even if I did, I would never ever tell you! So there!
Now they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake.
And how would doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence.
You, a man of integrity, don't make me laugh. Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden? You've spouted nothing but falsity since you stepped up onto the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatest a barefaced liar an honor.
Liar!
His words bite harder than his blade. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosion. My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, I just thought, but modern English can be your friend. Just a thought, but modern English can be your friend. Here's the thought for you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge 1 side. Please confirm this on the scene.
What? Liar!
So that means the director didn't move the launch pad? No, that's not what happened at all. Because we know because of the security footage, there's that 2 there. And we saw the ones on the ground in Launchpad 1. He switched it. He switched it back. So it looked like the rocket was there, when in reality it wasn't. But how did it explode? Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let's leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content.
Liar!
Objection!
But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned the knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we might just find where the killer escaped to. Ah! You're sure it must have went somewhere? We just might find out. Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or are you not imagining, are you not man enough to board? Ah! Haha, talk about hitting the below the belt. Youngins these days. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge. The launch pad is right there, where it's supposed to be. Ah! Wait a minute. Maybe I have it all backwards. What if the director turned the knob not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What are you blathering about? What if the launch pad was the launch site before the incident? And then after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. All he had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back, and it would be right there where the police found it. Ah! Oh! Oh! You made him silent, Mr. Starbuck. What I said really that off base? It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you, however. Our great liar turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge when our Astral Wonder made their escape. The fact has been recorded for posterity on the filmless film. Oh right, yeah, but that filmless film doesn't show Launchpad 1 corridor. So to reiterate, Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy. Well, I'm about to show you reality, bitch. Ah! Get a grip, Mr. Right, and focus. We know the launch pad must have been moved. But our deductions and the actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction with each other. Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake, taken with body doubles after the incident or something. On second thought, that's too far-fetched, even for me. Never actually boarded the rocket. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe... huh? Prosecutor Blackquill, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? What if when the director moved launch pad 1 back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? Cut the existential bull or cut you.
Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself at once.
I know I'm right. It was the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor, let me explain. Director Cosmo's reason for moving the launch pad was to trap the true killer, to switch it with another place, to hide it, to switch it with another place. They switched it with the Space Museum. That's going to be my guess. Because he wanted to switch it with some other place.
I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? Well, what could he possibly have switched the launch pad with?
Oh, I don't know. The identical other building right on the opposite side. Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. It takes a little thinking outside of the box, and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what switched with Launchpad 1, Launchpad 2, aka the Space Museum.
Take that!
Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum? In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2. It had all the same features as Launchpad 1, and can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning the Space Museum and Launchpad 1 can be also switched with each other.
You can't mean...
The rocket and the astronauts boarded on was not the one in Launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum. Why, though?
What? Balderdash!
And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident?
I see Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places.
That's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from boarding lounge 1. This allowed the true killer to enter Launchpad 1 from boarding lounge 2 and set the bomb on the rocket. Come to think of it, the door to the Space Museum from the boarding lounge 2. Welcome, welcome! The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Exactly. Anyone can pass through the door to the Space Museum. That's how he got to it. There's no fingerprint recognition system on that door. That's how the bomber set the bomb in place. But the two launch pads switched like that. Someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. Gah! After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into the boarding lounge 1 and waited there, concealed. In order to kill Mr. Terran when the other two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. Recall that Miss Blackwell, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who we can suppose, after killing Mr. Terran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway. Right, Dono, I see you know how to handle a sword and handle it well. Perhaps I should call you Swordmaster Bluff. I am a seasoned warrior who's cut down many a prosecutor.
Silence!
But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword.
That's right, you have no proof I switched the launch pad.
Oh, bitch, get ready for this evidence. Uh-huh. Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. The launch pod's really switched. There might be a record of it somewhere. At this point, Launch Pad 1 and the Space 1 Museum are switched with each other. So the corridor beyond the door should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Let's see, this is the image of the Launch Pad 1 corridor. Yep, and you can see the ones on the floor. Do we see anything different when we compare it with the security footage? Huh? That number on the floor. Yep. Fucking number. Well, what do you know? Looks like we have a proof after all, Prosecutor Blackwell. And if this is just another bluff? Oh, don't worry. It's all right here. Right in this footage. Proof that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum.
Very well then, answer this for me if you would.
What in this footage proves that the Finally, I get to fucking do this!
Take that!
There we go. There's a 1 on the floor in the Launchpad 1 corridor. Let's take a look at the floor on the corridor in the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? Doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because UC is actually part of a 2.
What?
Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is to the one to the Space Museum.
Ah!
And so that means the corridor in this footage is not filled with smoke. That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1, on the side opposite to the Space Museum. And now that we know that the 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Terran, carrying Mr. Starbuck, simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level.
Just incredible! The 2 launch pads were actually switched!
Oh my god, I knew this was gonna come up.
You think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude?
They were too busy with the bombing. Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. There was no way anyone could have known what happened on the surface. Start spinning, spin person! Yep. There's the Space Museum. Bye-bye! No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth! Oh god, my honor, my glory! Everything is slipping away! Time to employ my ultimate weapon! Galactic engine, ignition! What? It's going haywire! Ah! It won't stop! Ah! Oh my god, look at all the little stars! My glory! Oh my god! Oh girl, oh my god. Girl, no, 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 not that way! No! Ah! Girl is out of here!
Bailiff! On your state and after that witness!
Oh my god. Hi, buddy.
I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm.
Dr. Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads?
I admit it's true. I switched Launchpad 1 for the Space Museum. It's good to hear words I can believe for a change.
Before you do, Your Honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Terran had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Terran would have realized the instant he stepped into the museum that it had been switched with Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Terran feel the need to put such on a dramatic display? What happened? As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us. Why do you switch the two launch pads to begin with?
Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent.
Oh.
But I will say my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast.
The director is terrified. It must have been one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Probably not a good time to try to pry it out of him, huh?
Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing. I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his stars. Appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say?
Ooh. I don't get it.
Don't get it? What don't you get?
Director, why did you do all of that? In the very beginning, you never meant to launch to go ahead, did you? You tricked us! Mr. Starbuck.
Starbuck, my boy, I'm sorry. I can't tell you the reason why, but I had to do it to protect the Space Center.
Director! Will I ever get the chance to go into space again?
Yes. Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy.
Then the dream is still alive.
Silence.
Oh god. Hi, Blackwell. You're not going into space, Starbuck, but prison. I won't have it any other way. Why are you so hung up on him? Yes, I accept the launch pads were really switched. If there were a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I've yet to see proof this third person's escape via the Space Museum.
Oh, that's a good point.
Ah, he's right. I don't have any proof.
Starbuck, you will spill everything you know.
What? Me? Ah!
Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now!
Don't. My blade shall feast upon your blood.
Ah! If I'm gonna die, I want to die in space!
I have to do something.
Solomon Starbuck, prepare yourself! Have at thee!
Oh. Oh god!
Ha! Now you know violence is the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell! That annoyingly cheerful laugh. None other than...
Hi!
Champion of Righteousness, Bobby Fulbright here! In justice we trust!
Detective Fulbright?
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late.
I don't believe we had an appointment.
I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady cross the street. And then I had to break up a catfight. I tell you, justice is a full-time job.
Was it a fight between cats or... Why are you here again?
Because the defendant isn't the culprit. I came to make sure of that justice is served.
Oh? I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Fulbright?
I always thought you were a bit touched in the head. Have you finally succumbed?
Nope, but it looks like you've succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment.
What evidence?
Come to think of it, he did say something about finding us some evidence.
Thanks to you too, I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm gonna work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you.
I've just realized all the work I've done so far for the animation. I've been using the wrong brush. Oh no! Oh, buddy!
I didn't think he was serious, though.
Oh, buddy. So, what is it, detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent? Time to trace it all with the right one. Oh, buddy. Hey, at least you'll use the right brush then.
It is indeed! Have a look at—
Oh my god, that's the lighter.
What's this? A lighter? That's right, a lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. It has the victim Clay Terran's blood, all along with the killer's fingerprints on it.
Holy shit, really?
What?
Ah! Well, whose fingerprints are there?
Order, order! Detective Fulbright, can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant? You bet! Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent!
This is it. This is just what I needed. Okay, but whose fingerprints are there? Lighter added to the court record. They're the judge's prints. Judge, you're going to jail for 100 years. You're going to jail, bitch. Your Honor, this is decisive evidence that supports the defense's claim, earlier claim.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where this lighter was found. Based on that, we can exploit that the killer murdered Mr. Terran. They escaped with the lighter in hand to the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred, which allowed him to go through to the elevator. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found aborting lunch after the murder. A fact that Director Cosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't possibly have been the one to drop the lighter there. Oh my goodness, hello Jeepers Peepers, hello. How you doing, Mr. Starbuck couldn't,
Silence.
what do you have to say, Blackwell? Side eyes. Hello, Nerida. We're almost done here. We're almost close, I think. I hope. But the defendant had free reign of the area until Director Cosmos appeared. But you have not dropped the lighter in this Space Museum during that span of time.
Objection!
You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? Thumbs up. But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with a lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have had the time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. Okay, but whose fingerprints are on the weapon? Whose fingerprints are on it? Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's prints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbucks isn't the culprit.
This doesn't appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claims.
As for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck.
Oh, there must be some mistake. Frankly, Prosecutor Blackwell, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency because tomorrow...
Tomorrow? Tomorrow what?
Silence.
Fulbright. You promised never to speak of that. Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow?
Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to assume the defendant is innocent. In light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime.
Oh, we did it.
A few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover.
Oh god, there's still so much we have to do. Oh, but for now, the court finds the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, not guilty! Okay, but what are the prints? Oh, yay! Oh, Starbuck, I'm so happy for you. Yay! Oh my goodness. Yes, we did it, Mr. Wright!
Oh, looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh?
With some help from Detective Fulbright.
Mr. Wright! Miss Sykes, thank you! And please, thank Apollo for me too. You're all the best!
I'm losing my mind! Buckle up! Buckle up for what?! I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now!
Yeah, me too. But that's gonna have to wait.
Now that a verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
Objection!
Oh god.
It's too late to object, isn't it?
What now? It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong.
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you dissatisfied with the verdict?
Fulbright! What were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter?
Thank you! Oh my god, please tell us what it was! Who is the killer?
Huh? The results? Well, I was in a hurry, you see, and there was that cat fight, and well... I kinda got carried away when I heard the prints weren't Mr. Starbuck, so... You have yet to have read it.
Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prints belong to?
Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena Sykes.
What?!
So says the report.
What? What? Huh? Me? What? Wait! Wait.
Order! Order, I say! Order! Miss Sykes! Tell me you have an explanation.
What the? Athena!
We just finished proving that this lighter can only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it is only...
Oh my god, they're gonna put her in jail. I don't know how they got there, but I know I'm not the culprit. This can't be happening.
We built up our argument piece by piece. And I don't think any of her reasoning was faulty.
Buckle the F up. Oh my god. So how could it have led to this? Lighter updated. It has Athena's prints on it and the victim's blood.
Ah! What have I done? Please forgive me, I'm sorry.
Order! Order! Detective Fulbright, stop your crying!
What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad.
How could Athena even be the killer? She wasn't there, was she?
I will have order!
Oh my god. Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we fought for, the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong.
We had stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of twisted darkness. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god, that's the end? Yeah, I guess we're gonna save. Turnabout for tomorrow. Okay. Damn. Alright then. Fuck. Alrighty, I guess that is where we will be next time for... Athena's in fucking prison now! Are you fucking kidding? I assume she's in prison. Oh my god. Alright. Let's get on out of here. I do have to make this very quickly though. Oh my god. Thank you all so much for coming by and watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Robin, thank you to Page Town, thank you to Forged Evil, thank you to Murita, thank you to Jeepers Creepers, thank you to everybody and anybody who came by and hung out with us. Mwah. As always, I stream twice a week, usually. Thursdays and Sundays at 5:15. Nope, not 5:15. Whoops. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Any updates or changes can be found on my Discord, which is in the chat right now, or in the description of all my VODs, or on the YouTube community page. I also have a YouTube channel, obviously, where all my VODs get uploaded the day after. And... yeah! What the fuck just happened? Oh my god. Alright, I think that's where we'll call it for there. Thank you all so much for coming by, and next time we'll begin Turnabout for tomorrow. Holy shit, Athena! See y'all then. Bye.